match. Listen, I'll just say this: they go revisit the ridiculous segment of Hardy
Uh,
hitting Elias with the car. I mean, this whole thing was embarrassing, and we agree on this. This angle, I don't like the fact that Jeff Hardy agreed to this. I think it makes everyone involved looks stupid and desperate. The whole urine thing on SmackDown was a disgrace. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
it was not only was it a disgrace, not only was it disgusting, but also it was recycled because they used that exact same urine spot back, I believe, in 2008 or 2007. It was a feud that Shawn Michaels was having, I believe, against Vince McMahon. I think it was one during that time when I think Vince McMahon was teaming up with, I think he had Shawn Michaels face God. You think you remember that stupid angle that they did? I think it was for SummerSlam, and they did the same
2008.
thing.
I'm sorry to interrupt you,
Yeah,
but 2008, I was dark with WWE. I'll be honest with you. Post JBL era, around that time, I,
yeah,
I I could not watch WWE at all. It was insulting to watch.
yeah. It was very very tasteless. They did a feud where for SummerSlam, I believe of that year, it was Vince McMahon and Shane McMahon versus Shawn Michaels and God. Like literally, he had Shawn Michaels have God as his tag team partner. But anyway, regardless, the whole urine thing was almost done verbatim, where Shawn Michaels did a urine test behind the curtain, had a cup full of urine. He said the same thing: "It's better to be pissed off than to be pissed on," and he threw it at Vince McMahon. The exact same thing that Jeff Hardy said, which, as I told you, I didn't watch after I saw that particular skit or opening salvo. I didn't watch SmackDown. I ended up watching the um, the Intercontinental Championship match, which was, by the way, one of the best matches I've seen this year. I ended up watching it on YouTube because I could not sit down and watch the WWE after that garbage that I saw on Friday.
Yeah, I'm disappointed that Jeff Hardy would agree to this. I think he should say no, and he should have went home. You don't want to revisit this. This kind of, what it reminds me of, and I said this on my last show. It reminds me of the angle that they ran with Hawk. When Hawk got
Yes,
clean, they started bringing him to the ring looking like a drunk, falling off the Titan Tower, all that garbage. Same thing.
yes. And the problem is, this is not the first time, and it won't be the last time that the WWE does something tastelessly disgusting that has happened in a bad light of a wrestler's career and then turn it into a storyline. I mean, how many times have we seen a wrestler dies and they use that wrestler's death for the heel to make fun of? Like you remember, Randy Orton had a feud with Rey Mysterio before WrestleMania, and he said something about Eddie Guerrero is looking up at you because he's burning in hell. Tasteless crap like that is what Vince McMahon is all about in a lot of instances. So something like this is just this is just going back into his Rolodex of garbage that he pulls out.
Oh, without question. I mean, it's just it never. That's why people get turned off when they worry about ratings. I mean, that this is the stuff people get sick of. It's insulting. So moving along.
Especially when they have so much talent in the company that they could actually run 3 hours on a Monday, 2 hours on Wednesday, 2 hours on a Friday, and then an hour here or there. And they have enough talent to run great matches with all of these guys, but it never fully happens. The consistency is never there because Vince McMahon is into what makes Vince McMahon laugh. That's what he puts on his television show.
Yeah. So moving along with this match, listen, I'll be honest, going in just based on the pre-storyline, not to mention I'm not a big fan of Sheamus. I never have been. I don't get Sheamus. Listen, when Sheamus was off TV for a while, I was like, okay, I don't miss him. So I'm saying you couldn't pay me to watch this match. I think Sheamus is like the typical Vince McMahon mediocre in-ring guy. And let's be honest, lately Hardy's matches have been blah. I mean, I know he's gone for a while, but when's the last time you remember a great Jeff Hardy match? So I will say this though. I think this match did turn into a decent contest. What is your thought on it?
I actually thought it was a good match. I think to some degree, you might be a little bit hard on Sheamus. I've enjoyed Sheamus and a lot of his matches, especially there was a time, mostly because he had been wrestling hurt, that there were some of his matches were not up to par with some of the other stuff that he's done. When you look at the matches that he had in tag team um, with Cesaro when they were the Bar and they were having all of these great tag team matches. Uh, he suffers, I believe, from spinal stenosis, which is one of the reasons why he was out for so long. And to have that hinders what you can do in the ring. And with his size and how big he is, I'm pretty sure that that didn't help him. So going into a match like this, I actually thought it was a pretty decent match. I didn't have too many problems with it. It was a physical match. It told the story. Sheamus looked somewhat dominant in a lot of instances. Jeff Hardy looked like the risk taker that he usually is. That's pretty much what you can get out of a Jeff Hardy match and what you got out of a Sheamus match. And they gave you a little bit better than what they usually have been doing.
They gave us a really good face versus heel match, which is rare in wrestling these days. It was a good selling by Hardy. You get the good comeback. And then, unfortunately, he went to the daredevil aspect of it, went on the outside, made the mistake, ate the bro kick. Sheamus threw him in, hit the second bro kick for the finish. What are your thoughts on that?
Very good match. I think based on what they were trying to sell and what they were asking for, I think they gave you 10% more of what you expected. I think it was a pretty good match. It wasn't great by any means, but I thought it was a pretty good. They could have done this match on Raw, but I think that this was